Alright, let's start hunting for Mesprit. Remember when back in the day this particular legendary, I guess along with Cresselia, were quite annoying to get, let alone shiny hunt? And now it's nothing, it's no more special than everything else. Legendary wise at least. Only thing shiny I got today was pulling the shiny Blastoise card in TCG Pocket. I've decided that in TCG Pocket, the Celestial Guardian set, the one for Solgaleo and Lunala, I decided that in my game, on my phone, for the time being, I'm only going to open the Lunala packs. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before. Just in case I haven't, I feel like I did. Just in case I haven't mentioned it, I'm only opening Lunala packs because, well, the Lunala packs have more cards that I'm interested in. You know, I would rather get the Lunala EX, Lunala Gold card, Lunala Rainbow card, as well as the Decidueye Full Art EX, Decidueye Rainbow, all the Decidueyes. I would rather get those over getting the Solgaleo, everything, and Incineroar. As I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, sadly, you get the Guzma cards in the Lunala pack, and you get the Lily ones in the Solgaleo pack. Obviously, I would rather get the Lily ones over the Guzma ones, but hey, you gotta compromise somewhere. So on my phone, my game, I'm going to be opening the Lunala ones. On my sister's game, I'm going to be opening the Solgaleo ones. And that's how I got the Solgaleo EX one earlier today. So whenever the next update happens, I'm going to trade whatever I can to myself. Honestly, this might not actually be a bad strategy. On one game, I open one pack, the other game, open the other, and then I just trade back and forth, whichever ones I'm missing. Alright, so since last time, I have gotten myself enough Roto catches for the remainder of this challenge. Okay, before I continue, I'm just gonna real quick go and tell my sister something, because my friend texted me something that I think my sister would like to know. So I'll be right back, real quick. My dog is sleeping right in front of me. He's very much enjoying, you know, the rest of his life as an elderly dog, just sleeping all the time. He's living life to the fullest right now. You know, it does break my heart to know that, you know, my little puppy all those years ago is now an elderly dog. It absolutely breaks my heart. I remember 13 years ago getting him as a puppy. And now he's an old man. He's an old dog sleeping all day, being not very active. He was so active when he was young, too. Okay, so today I did indeed watch 2 shows to discuss for doing this today. I watched 2 shows. Now I decided, I know I said I had 5 shows lined up to watch. I decided I'm not going to watch all 5 at once. Because let's say I finish the entire, I don't know, 10 episode season. Well, then once we get past 10 more of these, I won't have anything left to watch and talk about. That's a lie. I have a lot of things. I have a ton of things I could watch and talk about. But for the time being, I am first going to be watching and discussing The Boys Season 3, as well as From Season 3. And don't forget, we also currently have Dead City Season 2 airing, and I completely do not care enough to keep track with this. I'm still going to watch it, though, when it comes out. In a month and a half from now, Ironheart is releasing. Oh, boy. So, there's your 4 shows at the moment that I plan to discuss. Remember, I said I have other shows in mind I'm going to watch as well. I still have the Ted series to watch. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. I still have yet to watch that. I completely forgot that existed. And then, there's still Hell of a Boss I never watched. You know, considering we got that tease a couple weeks ago. That little teaser that Hell of a Boss is going to Prime Video, and we're going to get crossover episodes with Hazbin Hotel. This is a pretty good time to catch up on Hell of a Boss. I think there's only 2 seasons on YouTube, making up 24 episodes, and like a couple of small parts. So now it seems like a pretty good time to catch up. But, you know, once I'm done this first slate of shows. Oh, also, announced today, we will be getting Season 2 of Peacemaker, August 21st. That is a really nice surprise birthday present for me. Because my birthday is August 22nd. So I'm getting brand new Peacemaker episodes for my birthday. Or possibly just 1 episode. We'll see how many episodes come out on release. Remember when Season 1 aired? When Season 1 first was airing, we got 3 episodes to begin with? That was great. Alright, Peacemaker Season 2 is coming August 21st. I can't wait! So, before I start talking about From and The Boys, I want to just take a little bit of time. I just want to wait a little bit, see if anyone wants to join, a particular douchebag, see if he's going to join to actually hear me discuss his, favorite show in the world. Before I do, I actually have one topic in particular I want to briefly discuss. Now, this is something that I known as of last time. Like, I knew about this last time I, got Shiny Yuxi. I just didn't talk about it. But now I will. Give me just a second. Okay, so the topic in particular I want to briefly discuss is a half political, half Hollywood topic. Oops, hold on. Okay, because President Donald Trump announced that he will be imposing 100% tariffs on foreign movies. Make movies in America again, or whatever his Truth Social post said. I don't know, this can be seen as both a good and a bad thing. I'm kind of leaning more towards it's kind of a good thing in the long run for Hollywood. But hey, then again, what do I know? I have a very, surface level knowledge when it comes to this kind of stuff in Hollywood. So, from my understanding, the reason that so many movies and TV shows, just Hollywood in general, film movies and shows outside of the US, first of all, location-wise, like you want your setting to take place in a certain place, so you shoot in that place. Lots of places, lots of lots of studios do that. Look at James Gunn's Superman Legacy. They needed the movie to take place in the Arctic for certain shots, certain scenes. They actually filmed in the Arctic instead of, making a snowy setting inside of a studio. Now, another big reason why studios and filmmakers make their movies and shows outside of the US is because of, I think taxes. There's less of a tax you need to pay if you film in, let's say, for example, the UK compared to American soil. So it's literally just slightly cheaper for them to film movies in other countries. However, with those tariffs, it's actually going to be more expensive to film in, let's say, UK or wherever else than if they were to film just in their home country of America. Now, this can be good and a bad thing. It's a bad thing for foreign movie production workers, because if nobody's going to their foreign countries to make film, then those foreign countries, those workers don't have jobs. It's a good thing for American Hollywood in a way, because it'll kind of force them to innovate, if I'm not mistaken. We know that we live in a pretty bad timeline. The Hollywood industry is imploding on itself. The gaming industry is imploding on itself. Budgets are way out of control. Projects are just way too big. They're too expensive. Some movies these days, not even some, lots of movies these days have hundreds of millions of dollars for a budget. And then they just don't even break even. They don't make enough of it back. And then we look at the final product, we actually watch the movie, it's where'd all that budget go? This does not look like it's worth, let's say, $200 million. You look like you could have made this on, I don't know, $130 million. I'm just throwing numbers out there. So, 100% tariff on foreign movies, that kind of would make Hollywood, kind of force Hollywood's hand to, it kind of would force Hollywood's hand to kind of get creative with their budget, It's okay, this, the budget for this movie is kind of out there, it's kind of too much, but now we can't rely on going to shoot this movie in another country because of the tariffs. So now we need to reduce our budget in parts of the movie. That way, we can afford the taxes filming this movie in the US. So in the long run, it might actually be a good thing for Hollywood, given this tariff. Once again, we all know that Hollywood movies, the budget is way out of proportion these days. Ahem, Snow White. So yeah, this tariff might be a good thing in the long run, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, But that does also cause a problem too, you know? There's only so many filming locations in America. Now, obviously, America's a pretty big place. However, you have to keep in mind, it's not just like one or two or a handful of movie studios out there, movie production companies. There are hundreds of thousands. There's a lot of things being filmed all at once. Hundreds of thousands of shows and movies being filmed all at once. There's only so much space in the US, so much scheduling you can do. You know, the world being as big as it is, you can film in other places. And I'm not too sure what this means for like foreign actors. I'm not too sure what it means for them. I'll have to wait and see. I'll have to keep up with news on how this plays out. Okay, so before I talk about the shit show that was from Season 3, I would first like to discuss The Boys Season 3. At long last, I have started watching The Boys Season 3. How long has it been since I watched Season 2? I would say minimum, like, I don't know, 4 months. Now, funny story about me watching the show today, specifically The Boys. So, I got a day off from work today. Hallelujah. However, the issue is that my mom also had a day off from work today. So, my mom and I were both at home today. And, well, if you know what happens in Season 3, Episode 1, you might know that it's kind of awkward to watch that episode with your mother standing right behind you. Because, damn, today watching that episode, I saw a lot of penises and buttholes. I know that can easily be taken out of context. So, I was trying to watch The Boys Season 3, Episode 1 today, but my mom was behind me cleaning the kitchen, and I didn't want her to see me watching that stuff. Even though I'm not watching that stuff per se, but you know, that stuff is still on screen as I'm indulging in the content. Oh boy. So, I got through like 10 minutes of the first episode of The Boys, and then it's like, God damn it, Mom, you're just not leaving. Fine, I'll watch something else while I wait for you to go away, so you don't see what I'm watching. So then, after like 10 minutes of Season 3, The Boys, I switched over to From. After watching the From episode, my mom still wasn't gone. And I'm like, fine, if you insist, I'm just gonna watch it with you here. I better not hear you say anything. Thankfully, she didn't say anything. And actually, thankfully, the rest of the episode was pretty tame compared to the beginning with all those penises on screen. Okay, so let's see. Obviously, the episode for a new season would begin with a recap of pretty key moments to keep in mind from the previous season. Wait, hold on. Let me look up this actress's name. I forget her name. Oh my god, why can't I find it? Okay, I found it. Okay, so the episode opens up with a pretty destroyed landscape. We see the Vought building destroyed. We see the surrounding streets destroyed. I'm just like, did Darkseid show up? Did Darkseid bring Apocalypse with him? And then I quickly remembered, oh right, they're shooting a movie. These characters do that. So, in the movie, we see Homelander standing before Stormfront, only Stormfront was killed at the end of last season, so they they had to recast Stormfront. And who's playing the Stormfront? Who's playing Stormfront in a movie, in a show? Well, it's none other than Clea herself, Charlize Theron, if I said her name right. Ain't no way they actually brought her on just for this small role. Like, ain't no way they had her just cameo like this. Because if they did, that is such wasted talent. Literally brought her on to the set for like 20 minutes to play a fake Stormfront. Alright, so yep, Homelander and fake Stormfront go back and forth. It's like, you can't take me on all by yourself. He's not alone. And then in come Starlight, Queen Maeve, A-Train. Can't outrun the A-Train. God damn, I hate that guy. God, I can't stand A-Train. Last saw Jesse T. Usher in Smile. Have to wait and see when I'll watch Smile 2. And then, we all know that this is a movie, so I finally get to see the context behind the meme of Homelander just looking up at the screen with a straight face, an unimpressed face. I finally get to see the context behind that meme. So they're at the red carpet premiere, Vought Studios, a very, very obvious rip on the Marvel Studios logo. It even has the same red color. So everyone's asking Homelander the exact same question. How did you not know that Stormfront is a Nazi? Everyone's asking him the same goddamn question. And I can't blame Homelander for being a little bit pissed off, a little bit annoyed, a little bit triggered. Like, can you people ask me anything aside from this? Well, none other than Huey, our man Huey, shows up as well, with Starlight on the red carpet. What? Red carpet. Huey standing next to Homelander as well as A-Train. So awkward, knowing what these guys have been through. And now look at them, side by side, taking pictures, smiling for the camera. So we saw at the last of the previous season, Huey is now left the group of the boys. He's now working for whatever this company's called, I forget. He's working for Victoria Newman, going legal, you know, doing the legal process of booking soups. So we see our characters the boys. They try to apprehend a particular soup, and this is where all the penises come in. So we see Frenchie as well as Kimiko go to this, like, drug party. So they're trying to apprehend the shrinking guy we saw in the previous couple of seasons. His name was Termite? That's actually not a great name. That's a pretty bad name for a soup. But, you know, Ant-Man was taken. And, you know, Adam was taken as well. But Termite? That's not a very good superhero name. That sounds more like a villain name. But then again, I guess the character was kind of bad. I don't know. Only in the public eye is this person good. Anyways. So we see Termite be shrunken down and then fucking a Barbie doll. Alright. And then we see Termite go into a room, you know, snorting some of that good stuff, that white powder, and then getting freaky with another guy. Other dude's just like, I want you in me. It didn't hit me until he shrunk down that he meant literally. So we see Termite shrink down, literally go into the other guy. Man, I was so afraid he was about to go into his chocolate starfish. No, he went in the front end. Now, am I crazy for thinking this? That visual kind of looked more, it visually kind of looked more like a belly button than a penis. Am I crazy, or did it look like that to anyone else? It didn't look like a penis hole, it looked more like a starfish. What? It looked more like a belly button hole to me. I don't know, maybe a very close-up of a guy's dick was too much for TV, so they substituted it with a belly button. I don't know, man. I don't know what penises look like. That's not the stuff I focus on when I look up shameful things on the internet. Anyways, oop, you are not playing that Xbox ad. Stupid ads. Alright, so so Termite goes in, we see his POV, we see the red tunnel that he's in. The dude said head towards the prostate. Isn't the prostate on the back end, not the front? What do I know? I don't know. But then Termite begins to sneeze. So when he sneezes, he goes big and he completely just implodes the guy. Dude got thanised. Only this time it wasn't through the anus. They actually pulled a thanus on screen. Only, I think you can argue this is worse. Instead of a thanus, it's a... I don't even know what to call it. I don't know, what would you say? What would you say this is instead of a thanus? Oh, if only Marvel took notes. There's no way Feige didn't see that and go like, yep, that's what the fans wanted, huh? The thanus. Anyway, so we see Termite screaming in the horror that he just basically thanused a guy in half. Gotta say, as a guy, that's a pretty brutal way to die. That's pretty hardcore to die. It's not even a good death like death by snoo snoo. So that death is pretty brutal for us guys. On the bright side, it looked like it was a swift and quick death. It didn't look like the dude suffered. Which, can you imagine if Termite grew back to big size slowly? Oh my god. At least they didn't do that. That may have been too much to show. Oh, imagine slowly that happening. At least it was quick and swift. So Termite's screaming in horror. Frenchie comes in to see what happened. He sees that Termite killed a guy, and Termite's just like, no, you cannot leave. You have now witnessed what I have done. Termite shrinks down, tries to get into Frenchie's pants. And Kimiko has to come in to, you know, help. We also, for the first time ever in the show, hear Kimiko's voice. Albeit not for real, though. She walks into this girl playing piano, and she sings along to it. However, that was just in her mind. In reality, she didn't actually say anything. But hey, for us, the audience, it still counts. The first time we hear Kimiko's voice. That's not just laughing. Anyways, so yeah. Anyways, Butcher comes in, apprehends Termite in a little baggie of dust. Makes me wonder, why didn't Termite just immediately grow back to normal size? You know, why did you even give Butcher the chance to shake you up in that bag of dust? To, you know, discombobulate you. Like, why didn't you just immediately grow back to regular size? Well, Butcher is tempted to just squash Termite like a bug, but then he decides, nah, we have a job to do. We need to bring him in. Well, we see Huey kind of moved up in the world. He has a paying job. He's no longer covered in blood and guts. He wakes up next to, I almost said Stormfront. He wakes up next to Starlight, W. And he goes into his new job, where he's kind of a celebrity. You know, he helped take down Stormfront, and he's dating Starlight. Wow! Oh yeah, don't think I didn't notice. Butcher being on Amazon buying Connect 4. Nice little self-plug there, Amazon, with your Prime Video. Nice little self-plug there, Bezos. Anyway, we see why Butcher bought the Connect 4 later on. Now, up to this point in the show, Homelander doesn't seem all that unhinged to me. You know, he just seems like a pretty unstable guy, yes. Maybe short-tempered, but he doesn't seem too unstable to me. Until now. This episode, he was quite unstable. Unhinged. Finally! This is the Homelander I've been waiting to see! Oh yeah, we also learned that it has been 1 year since the end of Season 2. They say it a whole bunch in this episode. 1 year ago. 1 year has passed. 12 months. They say it all the time in the episode. It's not as bad as Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, always going 7 years ago. I'm probably gonna go out of order talking about what happened. The show's pacing is a big mess all the time anyways. There's a big cast, okay? They jump through the cast of characters all the time. No Black Noir in this episode. We don't know what he's been up to since almost dying to a nut. Whatever. Let's just talk about the Homelander stuff first. Homelander's pretty pissed off. He's pretty unhinged this episode. A couple moments like the Deep getting a spot on an interview before him. Homelander doesn't like that. There's also Homelander and A-Train. A-Train getting, what was it? Shake Shack? I don't know, I almost thought with the green straw, I thought it was Starbucks. So, you know, Homelander was calling A-Train fat, and then I like this scene. He put A-Train in his place. Oh, nice. God, I hate A-Train. A-Train super sucks. A-Train is such a douchebag. Good to see him finally be put in this place. Well, after this scene, we also see that Maeve is texting someone about what she just saw, her growing concerns. Her concerns growing ever so much with Homelander's stability. Let's see. Butcher goes to visit Ryan, you know, Homelander and Becca's son. Ryan's actually staying with Mallory. And they're constantly surrounded by military. So that's nice at least. And that's why you bought the Connect 4. Oh, right. This episode, we also see Stan Edgar talking about V24, a new temporary compound V. Instead of perma giving you powers, it'll only give a person soup powers for 24 hours. Man, that's not gonna cause problems. That's not gonna cause anything but problems. Gee, how can this be anything but good? Stan Edgar also talks to both Homelander and Starlight, wanting to promote Starlight because she has like the biggest approval rating out of everyone in the Seven. So Edgar wants to make Starlight co-captain of the Seven. So the second in command behind Homelander. Obviously Homelander's pissed. But you know, in a way, Stan Edgar's just kind of like power equals power. He's just like, you know, you can show off your strength, but the ability to command with just your voice or whatever he said, that's true power. And you can do that too, Starlight, by being co-captain of the Seven. You can oversee what the Seven chooses to do, what they believe in, that kind of stuff. What they invest their time and energy into, that kind of stuff. Huey goes to visit Starlight at one of her reality shows sets where one of the contestants, his name was like Supersonic. He used to be Starlight's ex. Didn't she mention something about that in the previous season? She had a fling with someone when she was younger. Didn't she mention that last season? Well, Huey is jealous. Jealousy's not a good look, folks. Jealousy is not a good look, folks. It shows your emotions. It shows your, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, so I'll just say it bluntly. It shows how much you love the person, but it also shows that, you know, you're a little bit, unsure. You're a little bit hesitant. You're a little bit, insecure, I guess. I don't know, people can take jealousy either way. You can either be like, wow, you really don't trust me enough to be that jealous, or people could take it as like, really, you don't care about me enough to be jealous? You think I would just hook up with anyone? I don't know. Can happen either way. So be careful with your jealousy emotion out there, folks. Because in this episode, Huey kind of lets it go too far, and even I'm like, yee, that wasn't a good look, Huey. But can you really blame him after everything Annie said to him? I know she said she was crazy. She was kidding, but still, what she said jokingly was just like, no guy wants to hear that. You know, Annie trying to reassure and calm down her boyfriend. It's just like, don't worry, me and him, we just had a small little thing many, many years ago when we were just kids, when we were teens, you know. The stuff she said, like, you know, we both mutually lost our virginities together. We were something in the church, I don't know. It's like we had sex. And then she was just like, we did a lot of butt stuff. Like, man, no guy wants to hear that. Joking or not, no guy wants to hear that. No guy wants to hear that. Period. What else happened? So we also hear that not only did Huey leave the boys, also MM did. Mother's Milk left the group as well, trying to go back to a life of, you know, normalcy. So we see MM at his daughter's birthday. However, poor man, his wife has moved on. His wife now is with someone else. Damn. These hoes ain't loyal out here. Man worked so hard to not only provide for his family, get back to his family, make the world safer for his family. The man thought of nothing but his family, and this is how he gets treated. Hoes ain't loyal in the streets. So yeah, MM is attending his daughter's birthday party with, you know, his wife's new man. That's gotta sting. Let's face it, that's gotta sting. Pour one out to our brother. Perhaps, maybe, I don't even remember his wife's name. Maybe the new guy will become collateral damage sometime in the season, and maybe MM would get his family back. Must be pretty awkward for MM, because his daughter's birthday party was decked to the gills with the 7 decorations. You know, the 7, the people that tried to kill MM, and the people that MM was trying to take down. That is mad awkward. Imagine, I don't know, your kid having like a Legion of Doom party theme. What else happened? Well, small little detail that happened at the beginning of the episode. It was during the red carpet event, where that same director from the previous season showed back up. He was actually banging Ashley in the bathroom, and she's just like, pull my hair, literally pull it out. And he literally did. So it seems like we're finally gonna get into what's wrong with Ashley, why she's losing clumps of hair. Oh yeah, also after that, there was a small scene with Huey and Butcher in the bathroom, just discussing what they're doing these days. And that's not the only scene where Huey and Butcher are discussing things. You know, there's a scene where, as Kimiko is annoying them, playing the piano, learning how to play the piano. God, she's hot. What? So, Butcher and Huey discussing things about, like, you know, Huey is sorry that he left, but, you know, he just needed a change of pace. He needed to get out of that life. Butcher is still stern and stuck in his ways, finding ways to take down Soups. Only this time, he's working with Victoria Newman, doing it legally, instead of just trying to kill them and, you know, go after them off the grid. He's working with this, like, agency that Huey's now employed with to take them in legally. So Butcher's job is to hunt them down, incapacitate them, bring them in. I think Huey's job, working at the office, is identifying them and maybe locating them. We shall see. I'm trying to think, did anything else happen in this episode aside from how it ended? Well, I can't think of anything else, so let's discuss how this episode ended. So, when Maeve texted she needs to talk to someone, when she texted we need to talk to someone, it didn't say who she texted. Well, afterwards we find out she texted Butcher. She's in contacts with Billy Butcher. So, she brings him the file of Soldier Boy, not Soulja Boy, not Captain America, Soldier Boy, played none other than Jason. I know his name's not Jason. Jensen Ackles. He played Jason something on Smallville. Didn't he also voice Batman a couple times? Let's see. What the hell was his character's name in Smallville? Smallville's cast is huge, though that makes sense for 10 years of episodes. Wasn't Jensen Ackles only in Season 2? That was long ago, man. Oh! That was incredibly fast. Okay, take off the stylus. Take out the stylus and take off the rubber band. Wow, that was fast. Nice! Alright, skill swap. Alright, tricked now, Blissey, Thunder Wave. That was incredibly fast. Great! We have so many things to shiny hunt. The sooner we get all of them, the better. Okay, so I have here 8 Roto catches. Gonna use 1. Because 8 is, if I'm not mistaken, the perfect number for Ultra Moon. Because there's 3 Ultra Sun exclusives I need to hunt. So 8 is perfect. And now, just the usual, throwing Pokeballs until we catch it. It really likes to shake only 2 times. I don't think I've seen it shake 3 times once yet. Damn it. You know, this is the kind of shiny hunting I like to see happen. You start a shiny hunt, and you get it literally the same day, not even an hour later. That's the kind of shiny hunting I like. Now, if only I can catch it. Finally, that took so long to catch. Alright, let's take a look at that summary. Shiny Mesprit. We were pretty far from seeing this thing even come close to struggling, regardless of if I gave it the Harvest and Lepa Berry or not. So let's see. I got a Gentle Nature. I got a Gentle Monster. Alright, so we gotta at least finish talking about the boys episode. However, I'm gonna have to save the From discussion for next time, because, you know, now that we got the shiny, I don't have anything else to do. I don't have Uxie, I don't have Azelf prepared. So we'll have to save the From Season 3 Episode 1 discussion for next time. But yeah, let's finish discussing the end of The Boys Season 3 Episode 1 while taking a look at our new beautiful shiny Mesprit. Look at that, here's the Uxie from last time, and here's Mesprit. Beautiful. Alright, so Maeve went to talk to Butcher, giving him the file of Soldier Boy, and also Scarlet something, played by Laurie Holden. Why do I think it's Scarlet Centurion? There's no way that's it, right? No, Crimson Countess. That's who she plays, Crimson Countess. So we'll have to see how her character's like in the show. Let's hope it's a step up from Andrea, because nobody really likes Andrea. So yeah, supposedly Soldier Boy died a long time ago, but something, a weapon killed him. And supposedly Soldier Boy's as strong as Homelander. So if they can find the weapon that killed Soldier Boy, they might have a chance to kill Homelander. That's a pretty big, revelation. That's a pretty big development. Something strong enough to kill Homelander. A kryptonite bullet, let's say. Finding Homelander's kryptonite. We also see by the end of the episode that MM, on his own, has also been looking into, Soldier Boy, Crimson Countess, and their group of heroes. I think it was called the Paybacks. They were the top superhero group until the Seven came and took their place as number one. End of the episode, we also get, so let's see. When Butcher visited Mallory, she also gave him samples of V24, the temporary stuff, as he was supposed to just dump it into the sink. Wait, was it her who gave it to him? No. It was Maeve who gave it to him. When Maeve visited Butcher, giving him the file on Soldier Boy, that's when she gave him the V24, my bad. So it was Maeve who gave Butcher the V24. Butcher was about to pour it down the drain, but then he stops because Homelander surprise visits him, gives him a house call. I don't entirely understand what they said back and forth. Homelander was just like, don't you want us to, exchange blows and, only one of us left standing? Butcher's just like, yeah, more than anything. At first, I thought Homelander was proposing a team-up between the two against Vought. But then that just made it sound like, don't you want us to kill each other until only one survives? I don't know. I don't understand what it meant. Well, end of the episode. Oh, yeah. Throughout the episode, there was this guy, this Tony guy, looking for Victoria Newman, or Nadia. We don't know really about what just yet. So, end of the episode, this Tony guy follows Nadia to try to speak to her. Huey follows. And then Huey finally learns who has the power to blow up people's, not just heads, but just blow up people from a distance. It's Victoria Newman. So now Huey knows that his boss is, I don't know, maybe a hired hit woman? An assassin? With the ability to kill anyone she wants, so Huey better stay on her good side. And she mentioned something. I forget what she mentioned. She mentioned something like red, I don't know. Red something. Some sort of, I don't know, contingency plan, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. Or at least I will. For the most part, there you have it. The Boys Season 3, Episode 1. I probably missed a couple of details. If I remember them, I'll discuss it next time. I'll have to save from Season 3, Episode 1's discussion for next time as well. Because I got thoughts to mention about that show, let me tell you. You know, funny thing, my friend's girlfriend, for whatever reason, has just been doing a lot recently, and when I say a lot, it's not a lot at all. She randomly, out of nowhere, just requested to follow me on Instagram. So, like, okay, sure, not a big deal. It's kind of random, though, you know? I never promoted my Instagram in front of her. She never asked, like, do you have Instagram? She kind of just randomly found me and decided to request to follow me. Not a big deal, alright? So today I posted onto my Instagram story that I was watching The Boys Season 3, finally starting it, and then she just texts me like, The Boys! Oh wait, that's not the newest season. You're way behind. I don't know, in a way it's kind of random, it's kind of bizarre that my friend's girlfriend is suddenly just following me on Instagram and then just texting me, but it's not a big deal, you know? She just requested to follow me on Instagram and just reply to a story I posted, so it's not a big deal. It is kind of weird, though. I barely know her. I see her from time to time, only with my friend, only with him. And for her to just randomly request to follow me and then reply to a story, it's kind of a bit, I don't want to say it's a bit much. It's kind of more than usual, given I don't really talk to her. I talk to her once, like, I don't know, every 3 months, maybe. And then for her to randomly have this much to quote-unquote say, I don't know, it's kind of strange. I'm just looking too far into it. Whatever. Anyway, so I guess that'll do it for today. We started the Shiny Mesprit hunt today, and we ended with Shiny Mesprit today. Next time, we will begin the hunt for Shiny Azelf, my personal favorite of the three. In terms of Shiny, you know. Out of the 3 Shinies, my personal favorite's Azelf. So yeah, see you guys next time for the Shiny Azelf hunt. Where, don't forget, I will also talk about the Boys Season 3, Episode 2, yes, but also from Season 3. And boy, oh boy, do I have thoughts about this episode. That'll have to wait for next time. So, see you next time for that, alongside the Shiny Azelf hunt. Goodbye.